Differently abled, differently.
Teachers play a key role in the education sector. When they're well informed and equipped, learners with dyslexia will greatly benefit even as they transition into the workforce. Take a look.
Dyslexia Awareness is marked in October every year. The Dyslexia Organization of Kenya took this opportunity to design events that would help to effectively spread the word.
For a child with dyslexia, you have to have some time with them, because when you are teaching, you have to keep coming back if you want them to learn to read.
Among the events was the teachers' training at the Tangaza University. Teachers are the first contact with children once they have reached school-going age, and they can be able to detect if a child has difficulty in learning.
In assessment, we need to make sure that the child does not have any hearing loss, because when you have not heard some sounds, then you may not be able to write them, isn't it? Neither will you even be able to speak them.
Nancy from the Dyslexia Organization of Kenya took the teachers through ways in which they can know whether a learner has dyslexia.
Since his challenge is in reading, that is now where he will have problem in working out. And therefore, if you read this question for her, he will not ask you, or she will not ask you, whether we are adding or we are subtracting. They will understand. But a person with dyslexia will have a challenge even when you read for them, they will ask, are we adding or we are subtracting? Are you getting the difference? So a question of person with dyslexia will not question whether to add or subtract.
Once diagnosed, the learners can do better by being included in the learning activities instead of being turned away.
Inclusion says, in one word, it brings to light all the UN mandates which speak to the education and the integration in society of all persons with disabilities.
However, teachers can only do as much as they can, but without implementation of policies. All these efforts are normally watered down.
The policy dictates, and the classroom teacher and the schools are asked to carry out the mandate. Now, some societies, more than others, attempt to bridge the gap. But it all depends on who is in power and the will of the people in power.
As these learners transition into employment, it becomes a challenge as most of them won't be accommodated.
We normally employ people with neurofunctional challenges. That's why we are mainly here, because we found that unlike other challenges or disabilities, Kenyans have taken care of every sector except this one. We discovered that they are forgotten. That's why we have started the kind of cafe where we employ those people with the challenges. Like now, we have employed in kitchen. We have one who is a cook. It's called Nicole. In the restaurant, we have two. We have Geoffrey.
At Ayeros, they deliberately train and employ people with a neurodivergent disability.
We have to train them because we found that most of the parents with those people, with the children with those challenges, they keep them at home and they see them as the liability. But we now introduce a program whereby we train them here, and after they have been fully trained now, we discover their talents, we discover where they can work. Once we have discovered that this one is good in the kitchen, we employ him or her in kitchen. If we know it is better in service, because they have challenges, so we have to take time to know the strength of each one of us or each one of them.
It is for this reason that they hosted Dyslexia Organization of Kenya in their sip and paint activity.
By introducing this kind of cafe in our society, we have interacted with the with the people of the same challenges, and we have discovered that they like painting mostly. You know, they like something they see and something they touch. Something we cook and then we paint for them to memorize. We serve and then we paint. We can even paint their picture serving. So when we do like that, they memorize. It's not easier for them to forget. And like if you tell them to read a book, they can read and easily forget.
Ayura's Neuro Soul Cave, they normally have this event every week, so oftenly, and so we agreed to partner with them to create awareness about dyslexia. Being that this is Dyslexia Awareness Month, and we are also happy that they engage people with neurodiversity, and that's why we actually felt like it was important to partner with them, do this awareness. We are really excited to be here and to bring people who do not know that people with dyslexia have another side of them. They are talented, and sure you've met someone who is very talented and dyslexic. We also have children who are here from our school, this Rare Gem Talent School, who have joined us. They are the ones who actually in the school club, they are in the art club. As you have experienced, I have seen they are developing their talent, because again at Rare Gem Talent School we discover their talent, and these who are here already have identified art as their talent.
People with dyslexia have other talents, and this activity, apart from creating awareness, also appreciates their effort.
We are painting for dyslexia, and also I am dyslexic. I'm slightly dyslexic, so I heard about this activity, and yes, I joined.
Benson, who is an artist, learned that he had dyslexia later in life. By then, he was already out of school and had started selling his artwork for a living.
I came to know that I'm dyslexic 2 years ago from a stranger. Yeah, he came to my shop, and we had a conversation. And just as we were talking, as we were discussing some issues there, he realized I'm special. I was the most withdrawn kid. I'm from a family of, okay, I have 10 siblings, we are 11, and I'm that born. So I was somewhat withdrawn. I was not sikuwa naweza kuingiana na wengine vizuri. Kama kucheza, kuna venye mimi nataka kucheza. Kuna venye siwezi pelekana, like if you're having a conversation, sipelekani na wao, like even their speed and also that. And also now from my mom, aliniambia nilikawia sana kabla nianze kuongea. So venye nilianza kumjibu, alikuwa ananiuliza specific questions. So venye alikuwa ananiuliza specific questions, nikamwelezea about my childhood hiyo. Alafu shule pia nilikuwa, okay, I was an average student from nursery kuendelea, but nilikuwa nimeanza kujua niko na uwezo fulani like ya kuchora na nini. So I had the talent.
Those in attendance applauded such activities as they are able to learn more.
It has been an exciting experience. It's good to be sanitized about dyslexia. It's not the first time but hearing it, but it is the first time understanding it as a whole. We heard about this through social media, Instagram to be specific, through the platform of Ayura's, and we are so excited and so elated to be here. It's our first time painting. That was actually the main goal of coming here, but also learning about dyslexia is quite an important thing, and we are glad to be aware about it.
Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go too far.
We're differently abled, differently. We're differently abled, differently.
Welcome back. You are watching Abled Differently. Dyslexia Organization Kenya organized a dinner where they lit the Old Mutual Tower red and also a hike on Gong Hills to create awareness about dyslexia. Take a look.
The Dyslexia Organization of Kenya, in partnership with other entities, held an event on the 13th of October 2022 to light up red the UAP Old Mutual Tower.
The reason why we are lighting it red is because people with dyslexia have known red pen to be so much stigmatizing because of the way they get so many wrongs. Now we want to change that and celebrate it so that the people with dyslexia can start seeing this, taking they can start seeing things differently, and they start supporting themselves and looking at what they are good at, their strength, because there are so many people who have dyslexia and they have different gifts and they are very much talented. They think out of the box.
The word dyslexia was introduced or came about in 1887. So how many years? It's older than 100 years, right? It was done by a German physician, used the term to explain individual who had reading challenges and who did not show any other intellectual problem. 1887, that's when dyslexia was founded, or the word dyslexia was founded.
The event brought together different participants, including teachers and parents to children with dyslexia.
This business of people fixing others, thinking that others are not behaving in a certain way in which they expect, is an endemic problem in so many fields of life. As I teach these students who have dyslexia, I usually listen to their stories. And all of them have one story in common, that at a certain time, the parent or the teacher realized that they were far much behind what they expected that they should be doing. And what these parents and teachers usually do is to start this affirmative action, trying to push them so that they catch up with the other student. And the reason why they are usually so much behind others is not because is actually because they are very different from the other students. And what usually happens, all these affirmative action end up in one thing. They usually end up in failure. And they usually end up bringing a very big gap between the person who the person is trying to support using that affirmative action.
Children who are dyslexic are truly wonderful. I say this because my children have showed me very clearly, I call them my little superheroes. They have clearly showed me the meaning of resilience, as we saw with Peter, the meaning of courage, the meaning of being able to stand up for yourself despite whatever obstacles they face.
The organization has intensified its desire to engage the general public and create awareness about dyslexia.
We still have people who do not think or who do not accept that dyslexia exists, which is affecting one student in 5 or one person in 5 people have dyslexia. But still in the country we have so many people who do not believe that dyslexia exists. So we have many challenges where we are trying to create awareness, and also because dyslexia is a hidden difficult, people think that when we talk about dyslexia, we are talking about something that you can see. Actually, there are so many places, especially schools, where we go, tell people like we want to create an awareness about dyslexia, and people just close doors by telling us we don't have those kind of children here, such that they look like dyslexia is something that you can see.
According to Professor Deogracius Jaganyi of Mount Kenya University, learners with dyslexia face a number of difficulties, hence the need for integration and inclusion.
From an African perspective, when an area of intervention is needed in life, we as Africans always come together and join hand in support. by coming together as we are here today, gives us an opportunity to destigmatize the challenge as perceived within the community and create positive awareness without distorting the facts.
Dr. Ezekiel Mutua, who was the chief guest, expressed his gratitude on attending the event and emphasized on the need for more awareness creation.
All of us tonight can help someone cross. It could be through some act of empathy and kindness and understanding, encouragement. It could be those of us in policy formulation positions to help. Those of us like myself, CEO of Music Corporate Society of Kenya, to get these stories to be even brought out, then this message through music and film. It could be anything that you can do to show empathy and to help in making policies that will help these people. We are so grateful to see you, young men and women, and the teachers and everybody who is holding your hands. And I want to encourage you to know that we care. And the world cares about you, and we are here for you.
Children with dyslexia and adults struggle to read fluently and spell words correctly, among other challenges, but these difficulties have no connection to their overall intelligence.
Dyslexia is my power. I like to shred. If our teachers are given at least some of the tools to work with our children, then I think we would be in a better place.
I usually stay with these kids. They are my friends, and they are geniuses. They beat me in everything. And the only thing that I can beat them is in reading and writing. But in all the other areas, they are excellent. Do you want to tell me that I'm brighter than all of them? Am I brighter than all of them? Am I smarter than all of them? I don't think I am. And I think we need to start looking at things differently.
Although dyslexia is lifelong and cannot be cured, with the right support, persons with dyslexia can become highly successful students and adults.
We're looking for the disruptive skills. And this sort of children have got some very unique talent because, as you said, they're configured differently. And the way the world is going, the world is looking for disruption. So we should encourage talent when we see it. These are the Steve Jobs, the Bill Gates, the people who cannot focus on these normal conventional things. I think we should continue building that skill and not use that to put them in this conventional learning system that we have.
Dyslexia is not a disorder of any kind, but it is a learning difficulty that causes problems with writing, reading, and spelling. The intelligence of persons with dyslexia is unaffected. However, this misunderstanding of the condition leads to stigmas, which Dyslexia Awareness Month aims to eradicate.
We are appealing to the government, especially like today, that we are having conversation about looking at what is good for children in school, about CBC. I urge the government to put deep thoughts about children with the hidden disability, because traditionally we know that the government acknowledges the four disabilities, that is visual impairment, hearing impairment, mental impairment, and hearing and physical disability. We do not have a way that people with learning difficulties are taken care of. And when I mean they are not taken care of, is that even the teachers are not well trained. So we urge the government, like we are here out telling them we need teachers being trained. These people with dyslexia or many people with hidden disability, they exist, and you can't just look at them and say they are there. They don't show anything. They are only seen when you are working with them in class. So I urge the government to train teachers so that they can give these children support. And one thing, economically, people with dyslexia, if they are ignored, children drop out before they reach school, before they finish school. So they reach school half-baked. And they are the people we see, they create a lot of problem outside. Instead, that energy that they have, if they are taken care of in their schools system, they will change the economy because they are gifted, their talent, they had working.
The experience was not only fun but tasking, as Olivia Maloba, a parent, explained.
It was kind of tough for me, being that this was my second time. The first time I came, I only took one hill, but today at least I tried up to the 4th hill, so it's quite amazing. The kids were enjoyed, actually, they did. Even my son, I can tell he enjoyed because he went up to the 7th hill, yeah. So I would say they really enjoyed it. You could see them running and, so energetic. It's a good thing to do. At least it's once a year, so it's a good thing to actually have it done with our children.
Apostle Joseph Kamotho expressed his pleasure in attending the event, terming it as a way of showing the kids their appreciation.
Most of the dyslexia children in the world, they look like they do not have friends, and sometimes they are parted by others. But when they come together the way they are, and they are given such a treat like hiking the Gong Hills, of course we lace up their spirit, and they feel they are loved.
He further challenged the general public to understand their children and take good care of them.
I want to talk to the general public that it is important to understand your child and to realize your child. I have seen so many of the children who are been taken into different schools, the normal schools, the public schools, and yet they have a challenge in learning. Or they have what we call dyslexia. And the challenge does not mean that they are condemned, does not mean that they are foolish. No, they only have a challenge. It's only that you need to identify the right school.
Parents were reminded of the importance of early intervention to ensure effective management and care of the disorder.
The parents, when they realize that their children have difficulties early enough, early intervention is the key. Because the journey you take with the child who has been given early intervention, it is not as hard or difficult as the one who has been identified and started intervention when they are old. So parents, they have a key role to play. Teachers have also key role to play, because the teacher will identify, communicate with the parent, and the assessment will be done and the intervention starts early.
Let's take a look at the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities.
Article 25 of the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities states that state parties shall, Part B, provide those health services needed by persons with disabilities, specifically because of their disabilities, including early identification and intervention as appropriate, and services designed to minimize and prevent further disabilities, including among children and older persons.
We have come to the end of the show today.
But as always, catch us every other Saturday. My name is Jane Theuri.
I'm Ruth Mweni.
We are here and we are strong. Let's be counted as we move on. Make a difference, change lives as we tell our different stories. We are capable, beautiful. We are born to do great things. We're unstoppable, incredible, 'cause we're differently abled, differently.